What is good, boxing fans, boxing critics, boxing analysts? This is Renee Box Young back at you. Just want to chop it up a little bit. It's not going to be a long one, I wanted to just, give a little further emphasis and confirm my last video I did. It was on Bud Crawford. That on the ticket sales. Yeah. I did a video recently on Bud's ticket sales, Bud versus Khan, right? And the whole pay-per-view. My video is called Bud Crawford versus Khan Fight Week ticket sales. Go check it out on my channel. I chopped it up a little bit about that, and I showed you how many seats are available. I recorded my desktop, how you take a sneak peek at that, you know what I mean? And just seeing the overall promotion of the pay-per-view fight this Saturday, which is tomorrow. Whoa. I was just on, I was listening to a World Breaker fighting, you know what I mean? Shouts out to World Breaker. And he had a panel going on, and he was talking about, he mentioned that, that not much people know about the weigh-in that's going on right now at the time of his live, so I agree. I mean, yesterday or the day before, I heard about the weigh-in being on Friday, and I totally forgot about it. I just came back with the wifey, going out and about, enjoying the day off, and went to eat, came back, and I totally forgot about the weigh-in. It's just, I saw the press conference the other day, and it was boring, man. I'm sorry, but it was boring, and I wanted to break down something. This is something that got my attention. A video, the links in the description. All right, links to the videos are in the description. On Barbershop Conversation, he interviewed heavyweight fighter Andy Ruiz Jr. He's a PBC heavyweight fighter, and interestingly, that he recently signed. Maybe a lot of you guys don't know. He recently signed to PBC, and he left Top Rank. He left Top Rank, and I think back in January 2019 of this year, right? So I got the article here. It's in couple of articles, but 3kingsboxing.com. And let me just read a little bit here of this article. I could have recorded it desktop. I wanted to, but just for specific reasons, I didn't want to. I just wanted to go live. And it says here that so it says 3kingsboxing.com. Shouts out to the channel. Shouts out to the website. It says here, has learned Andy Ruiz, 30-1, 20 KOs, has signed a deal with powerful advisor Al Heyman. This is the result of a successful buyout of the remainder of his contract with Top Rank, who promoted him for a majority of his career. So, it's a buyout of the remainder of his contract with Top Rank, it says here in the article. So, we see the same thing. We saw the same thing happen with, similar at least, right, with Manny Pacquiao. He got out of Top Rank. He stayed quite long with Top Rank, actually. He should have left a lot earlier, but now he's at the end of his career, Manny Pacquiao, but whatever, right? Mayweather, he's bought his way out of there too. So he here's another one, Andy Ruiz, he's gone. He left Top Rank. So, just recently. So, and it's interesting because he sheds light on it. He sheds light on this. Let me just repeat one more time. His Andy Ruiz's, pro record 31-1 KO. I'm here in boxrec.com. So here it says in this article 30-1, in BoxRec it says 31-1. Should be his most recent record here. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like the other day I saw this on a Barbershop Conversation. Shouts out to him. And he had a video on that. He recorded Andy Ruiz specifically, and in that video, he mentioned that Barbershop Conversations hitting up them great questions, you know what I mean? And he mentioned Andy Ruiz that, in other words, me paraphrasing, that Bud would be doing a lot better if he were in PBC. And it's interesting because that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said the other day, right? On my video, go check it out on the ticket sales. I said that same thing, man, that, Bud should have, maybe he didn't ruin his career, no, but he made a mistake in renewing his contract with Top Rank. This is just further solidifying what I said the other day. And shouts out to Barbershop Conversation again, man. Great video. And he was interviewing Andy Ruiz personally right there. Yeah, and he mentioned that, man. He mentioned, Bud would do better here with PBC. And we all see that. Maybe people aren't paying attention to that or focusing on the, the insides of the game as far as with Bud, as far as him with Top Rank. But, you know, I am, you know, and it's something I would like to point out. And also, shouts out to the Boxing Voice too. They interviewed by phone. The link is in the description. Also, you know, shouts out to the Boxing Voice, and they also interviewed Andy Ruiz Jr. right when he left Top Rank, which was earlier this year. So you know, on the phone, by phone, that little interview with him, and he said there also Andy Ruiz Jr. And it's exactly what I said. It's interesting because I just recorded this. I just did this video a couple days ago, talking about Bud. He shouldn't have signed again and renewed his contract with Top Rank, and I mentioned that Top Rank seems to be great with prospects, and it's interesting because here with the Boxing Voice, Andy mentioned that Top Rank is good. You know, in other words, he said that Top Rank is good on building up fighters, building them up. You see, so what I see is personally that, you know, prospects that are on Top Rank, they should plan on leaving Top Rank soon, man. Like they should plan on, you know, getting built up there but not renewing a contract like Bud did. Bud was at the perfect time of leaving Top Rank before renewing his contract last year. He was at the perfect time of just leaving, man. He should have left. He should have left. Man, I kind of feel sorry for Bud. Now we're seeing the pay-per-view event, which is not that big. I mean, we also have a fight happening tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, with you know, Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados. I mentioned this in another video I did. Yeah, it's going to be on April 20th. It's going to be tomorrow. I'm more focused on watching and more interested in watching the undercard of Bud Crawford, Bud and Amir Khan. I want to watch the undercard, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo. And then I want to jump over to, depending on the times, but I want to jump over to Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados. I'm more interested in watching that than watching the actual main event on Top Rank, you know, on ESPN, the pay-per-view main event. I mean, and a lot of people aren't really interested. There's no, and it's underground. It looks like a prospect big matchup, you know. I mean, yeah. So it's interesting because Andy Ruiz, Jr. He said the same thing, man. Pretty much that I said, you know, days ago when I did that video. Go check it out. Go back and check it out. It's on my channel. I'll repeat it. Let me just go to my channel real fast. I even forgot what I titled it, man, because I'm trying to pump out these videos, you know, now that I'm on vacation and stuff. Hey, what's going on? Whoever's watching. I mean, I don't know why I don't see who's watching. I'm here on Google Chats, and shouts out to you, brother, or sister, or somebody's watching. But thanks for watching, man. But yeah. So oh yeah, the video is called Bud Crawford versus Khan Fight Week ticket sales. Bud Crawford versus Khan Fight Week ticket sales. Go check that out. It was like 3 days ago I put it up. And it's just reiterating, you know, what I'm telling you, what Andy Ruiz mentioned and elaborated upon with Bud should have switched to PBC. You know, this is confirming what I said days ago. So, yeah, man. I mean, shouts out to, you know, Andy Ruiz. Hopefully he does great in his heavyweight career. I mean, he has quite a bit of fights already. I think he fought Parker also. And so, I mean, he's coming up. You know what I'm saying? He's coming up. So, but he has a lot of fights already. So, yeah. So, yeah, man, I hope he does great. It's also a 4-fight deal, if I'm not mistaken, Andy Ruiz. And he's in the undercard of Adrian Granados and Danny Garcia. So it'll be interesting to watch him, but I like that input, you know. Shouts out again to Barbershop Conversations on that video, you know, on that interview he did with Andy Ruiz on talking about, you know, questioning, you know, specifically about, you know, Top Rank, Bob Arum, you know, and again, we see it once again. We saw it with Mayweather. We saw it with Pac-Man, right? We're seeing it with Andy recently, him leaving Top Rank. So, I mean, we're just seeing it time and time again. And I know there are more fighters, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving you recent ones. You know, we're seeing it time and time again. And you know, my advice to these youngsters, man, with Teofimo Lopez and with Shakur Stevenson, my advice to these cats. And you know what? Devin Haney is doing it the smart way. He's independent, man. Smart young cat. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the other guys that are on Top Rank aren't smart. Or, you know, these prospects, you know, I'm not saying they're not smart, you know, but, you know, very smart kid. Devin Haney, He has his own company, his own promotional company, if I'm not mistaken. And Devin Haney's doing it smart. He's doing it independent. He didn't sign to any of these, and it's interesting because also what Andy Ruiz Jr. mentioned too on Barbershop Conversation, on that video he did, that interview he did with him. He mentioned something very important, and it's true. He said that, just promotional companies just want to pocket all the money, They just want to make the most profit they can and pocket all the money. I'm paraphrasing that, okay? Go check out that video from Barbershop Conversations. The link is in the description. So yeah, man, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And it's more relevant. It seems more relevant with Top Rank. I mean, Al Heyman seems to be treating his boxers, his athletes very well. Also what happened recently, I think last year or something, that when Eddie Hearn was trying to woo, I don't know if you guys heard that, trying to woo in Adrian Broner, trying to lure him in, to fight on the zone or something, right? Eddie Hearn was trying to call out, Eddie Hearn is, trying to lure in Tank Davis, trying to lure in Adrian Broner, trying to lure in the Charlos, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I mean, he's just trying to lure in the big names. But these PBC fighters aren't dumb, man. I mean, they're not going to leave a place of where they're doing very well and they're doing great and they're getting great publicity. Also, I mean, you got to give shots out to Al Heyman. You got to give shots out to PBC, man. I mean, it's a great platform for fighters, man. They have the best right now. They have the best of the best. I mean, you cannot argue that DAZN has the best of the best, or even Golden Boy in general, because we know that Golden Boy is with DAZN. They're partnering, they're doing deals there. They're, the fighters are fighting on that platform. And I don't even think all of them are, because I mean, there was something I recently read, I think it was on Instagram or something, that there was going to be a fight from Golden Boy fighters, but they're not going to fight on DAZN. And I don't know, whatever, man, that's their deal. But what I'm saying is that, PBC, they're doing great, and they have the best of the best fighters. You can't say that about DAZN. You can't. Top Rank does have great fighters, though. I mean, I can't say not, but the thing is that they're not getting the best promotion, and it seems like, Top Rank is just focusing more on, Lomachenko, man. I mean, I think that's bad. That's a bad look, because Bud should be getting a lot more attention. Bud is the one who should be getting the main focus. The spotlight should be on Bud. I mean, I cannot say that the spotlight is on Bud right now on Top Rank, because it's not. He's getting the shadow, man. He's in the background. He's in the shadow, while, it seems like Bud is getting the light left over of the main spotlight, which is, right in Lomachenko's face in Top Rank. And it's sad, So, I mean, and interesting enough, this is a recent, example. Andy Ruiz is explaining all that, he explained this and, bits and pieces on Barbershop Conversation. Also, shouts out to the Boxing Voice, link in the description. Also, go to those interviews, man. Go to those interviews and videos on YouTube, and you're going to see how Andy Ruiz explains it to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But when you historically see all these and you put these pieces of the puzzle together, we see it clearly what's going on. You know what I mean? So again, I think the best thing to do is with these prospects that are on Top Rank right now, these young stars that are growing up. You know what I mean? Even Lomachenko, man. Imagine if Lomachenko were to switch to PBC. If he finishes his contract, who knows what his contract is right now? Who knows how many years? But Andy Ruiz Jr. did the smart thing, man. He left Top Rank. And I'm going to go back to that article. Let me go back real quick, okay? Let me go back to that article. It's on 3kingsboxing.com. It says Andy Ruiz leaves Top Rank, signs with Al Heyman. And now I'm going to repeat it here. I'm going to read it one more time, okay? It says here, this is the result of a successful buyout of the remainder of his contract. So it looks like he had to pay to leave Top Rank, yeah. But, I mean, it's worth it, because now he's on PBC, and it's a 4-fight deal, and I'm sure he's going to be doing well. He's going to do well there. So, he did the smart thing, man, and who knows how long Lomachenko's contract is. But I assure you this, if Lomachenko were to leave, I mean, he's doing great now in Top Rank anyway, but who knows how much he's getting paid. I mean, there are some numbers being thrown out there, but if he were to leave or go to PBC or something, I mean, but then again, I don't think this context or this situation or scenario would fit, or this solution, quote unquote, would fit Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is getting all the spotlight in Top Rank anyway. So, I mean, for Bud, I mean, we're talking about Bud now. I mean, Bud would just explode, dude. And he was at the right time last year, man, to not renew the contract with Top Rank. He was at the perfect time. and he would have been fighting, just like I said in the last video that I put about this. He would have been fighting the top names. And just look at the other fighters, guys, that are on PBC right now. They're getting a great, fights. I mean, we got Danny Garcia right now with Adrian Granados. Even though Danny Garcia's rep, came down a little bit, but look, a lot of people know him, man. He's a well-known, highly esteemed, welterweight, even though he's lost, to Thurman and to Porter, which was those are slim losses, man. So, yeah, dude. I mean, you gotta, and the thing here is that, okay, what did Bud, I didn't even see the videos, but I saw on YouTube, all these videos popping up recently about Bud admitting that the fight, he can't make, the fight is not in his hands of him fighting Spence. He can't even decide that, you know what I mean? And just Bob got a major grip on Bud, and it's too bad, man. Too bad. And I just wanted to make this little live, quick segment, emphasizing that fact. And Andy Ruiz Jr., a heavyweight who left Top Rank. He ran running for his life, man, for the life of his professional career, so to speak. And he's in PBC now, and he's speaking out a little bit, Shouts out once more to Barbershop Conversations for that interview with them, and also the Boxing Voice. And in those interviews, he mentions that, I repeat, he mentions that, Top Rank is good for building up fighters. It's exactly what I said days ago, that Top Rank is great in building up fighters and prospects. They're wonderful in doing that, you know what I mean? But when it comes to maintaining, and also even Andy Ruiz and the Boxing Voice, that video, that interview that they had with him, he also mentioned that the promotion, man, about promoting. He mentioned that also. Everything that I'm saying that I said days ago, that the promoting, and in other words, right? It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. So yeah, man. So that's what I wanted to talk about here. Luis Ruiz Jr. Yeah, speaking on leaving Top Rank. So here's just another example of the historical. It's hard, dude. Bob Arum needs to do something, and he needs to do something fast, because here's just another example of how the fight is tomorrow, main event, pay-per-view, Bud versus Khan, which should be off the roof, man. It should blow the roof off the house, man. This should be all over, the Western. This should be, okay, look at, I didn't even think this was gonna come to my mind. This should be even all over the UK, but the UK is not even talking about it hardly. But you don't even hear. I'm not even going to speak for the UK. I'm going to speak for the Western countries. Here, Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from Mexico. Shouts out, for Mexico to all you guys. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I'm coming from Mexico. I live it here. I'm seeing it all. So Bud and Khan, who know? Here they're like, what? What? That's a paper. What? People here don't even know what the heck is going on. Okay. People here don't even know about Bud and Khan fighting tomorrow. And much less it's a pay-per-view. Come on, man. They done blew it. They done blew it in this one. Top Rank, man, they done blew it. It's a big dud, man, this event. All due respect. Someone enlightened me. I'm not sure if this is the first pay-per-view event with Bud on Top Rank. I don't really know. I think I heard something like that, but this should be all over America. This should be, and much more in America. This thing should be popping, man. But I'm sorry, dude. I am sorry. Imagine if had I don't like to think of that fantasy stuff that's not happening, but and give those kinds of scenarios, but it's just to get you thinking on it. Imagine Bud, if he hadn't signed to renewed his contract last year to Top Rank. Imagine his first fight in PBC. That thing would have been blown off the roof. It probably wouldn't have been versus Danny versus probably wouldn't have been Danny versus Granados. We would probably be seeing this Saturday, tomorrow, Bud Crawford versus Danny Garcia. Man, everyone would be, dude. Bud would be making a lot of money, and that would have been a blowout fight right there. He would have been fighting, welterweights, man. Porter would be next. Winner of that would be Porter, and then after that, probably winner of that would be, because Porter would be fighting Spence. Right, so it would be something like Bud Crawford versus Danny Garcia, first fight, fresh in PBC. Bud Crawford, pay-per-view, dude. A couple months ago, if that were to be announced, first fight in PBC, Bud Crawford, that would have been off that would have been off the meter right there, man. That thing would have been blowing. That thing would have been sold out, dude. That would have been sold out a long time ago. Arena would have been packed, Madison Square Garden, whatever, wherever it would have been. I mean, it would have been packed, man. And Bud would be seeing the fruits of his labor, multi-divisional champion. He would be seeing the fruits of his labor. But what did he do? He re-signed to Top Rank. And that's how it would have been. And then it would have been something like this, right? It would have been something like, okay, and then Porter would be fighting Spence in the meantime. And then after that, it would be Bud versus Spence. Or maybe it would be one more fight, with other welterweights. Maybe Spence versus maybe even it would have been something like, okay, after Bud versus Danny, maybe it would have been something like Bud versus Pacquiao, man. Wow. I'm telling you, man, Bud just done messed it up. I'm so sorry. It's something that I cannot avoid because I mean, this is the fight that's tomorrow. This is a big fight that's going on tomorrow, and it just can't escape my mind. Once the fight is over, then I'll shut up about it. I think I should at least, right? I think I'll shut up about it and I'll stop talking about Bud Crawford and being on Top Rank, at least with this pay-per-view event. At least, I mean, I'm sure I'll be mentioning him more in the future, but. And like I said, I reiterate, Bud is mentioning, even though, he wants to fight Spence, he probably won't be fighting him anytime soon because his good old manager, Bob, right? And then there's no one to blame. Look, it's something I mentioned. No one to blame but Bud himself, just like Miller. And now, okay, look, now there's more. I mean, videos are popping up. Information's coming through that Big Baby Miller failed another test, a second test, man. I mean, okay, one test is bad enough, but another one, okay, like the first test, when he popped up dirty the first time, I mean, I was saying, I was thinking in my mind, like, there's no one to blame but Baby Miller himself. No one to blame. You can't blame Anthony Joshua. You can't blame Hearn. You can't blame anybody else but Miller himself. Now twice, I mean, come on. Similar with Bud. Okay, he signed once to Top Rank. He did the deal, and now he re-signed again. There's no one to blame but Bud himself. Bud can't be opening his mouth, with all due respect, and saying, "Hey, man, no one wants to fight me." And I mean, it's not the other fighters' problems, man. It's your problem because you signed a Top Rank again, man. You renewed your contract, so don't be complaining if you're not going to get that mega fight with Spence, man. Sorry, Bud. It's your fault, bro. I mean, you no one to blame but yourself. I mean, that just picks at me. It's kind of annoying because why? Because now we're not going to probably get that. Watch, I mean, mark my words. We're probably going to get this Bud Spence fight, even though Bud is on Top Rank. We'll probably get it by 2022, man. Lord willing, man. Good Lord willing, we'll probably get it by 2022. Probably, okay? I mean, or 2021 maybe, but we'll see, man. So I just want to make a short video. I'm about to leave right now, but I just want to go check those videos out in the link in the description, okay? Check it out, man. This will make you think about, this whole situation with Bud, man, in Top Rank. I mean, shouts out to Luis Ruiz Jr. He's going to be fighting on the undercard with Danny Garcia, the undercard of Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados. I wish the best of luck to him. Luis Ruiz looks like a nice guy, man. Really cool guy, down to earth. You know what I mean? Shouts out to those, barbershop conversations, one more, and the boxing voice, you know what I'm saying? And great interviews that you can hear from them. You can get some insight on him leaving Top Rank, you know what I mean? And that's, like I said, just another example of another boxer leaving Top Rank again, So once again, I really, push that, Top Rank is great for prospects, but not for big names. Yeah, man. I mean, these big names, they got to leave Top Rank, man. And whatever contract, however many other fights they got, I mean, finish those fights and leave Bob, man. Bob is an old man, and respect to him. He has a wonderful company, wonderful promotional company, but it's just not. I mean, and what I've seen, Top Rank is wonderful in doing highlights and little boxing highlight clips and wonderful special effects. Go to Instagram and look at those wonderful special effects they have on big fights they have coming up. But I mean, that's about it. They're really, really good at that. They're really, really good at just look at the graphics on those things, man. They could do a movie, man. Wow. I mean, just look at the graphics and special effects they do on those, highlights. And that's how they hyped up Loma so much, man. I mean, the Matrix, high tech, and then, all those. But, it is what it is, man. So, Renee Box Young coming out from Mexico. Thanks for all who watched. Like, subscribe, comment below. What are your comments on this? I mean, check those links out, man. Peace.